Angry guy here, and men are thriving as women become homeless. Men are thriving as women become homeless. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
I wouldn't be me if I wouldn't sit here, provide some receipts to back up the things that I am saying to you guys. Saying to you things about Germany such as I'm about to show you in this following clip.
Here are some reasons why the average American man loves Europe, and once they touch down, they don't never want to leave. I said average. I'm not even talking about anybody that makes six figures. Number one, they get into the club for free. You may be like, why is that? Because some of the club owners know that American men are a magnet for women. Once you made it into the club, women smell your swag from a mile away. So what do? They levitate towards you and they try to get your attention, no matter what. It doesn't matter if they scream. It doesn't matter if they bump into you by accident. It doesn't matter if they, I don't know, do what else by accident, just to get your attention. Once they got your attention, they ask you what you want to drink. They buy you drinks. They buy you dinner. They take you out. They spend money on you. And I'm talking about beautiful women, okay? Pretty women, Lebanese, Turkish, German, Ethiopia, whatever you want. Treating a man like he never got treated before.
Germany is absolutely worth a visit, everybody, and you are really missing out on it if you are not coming through to experience what I am talking about in my videos. But then again, I know that a lot of you are not willing to meet any women in the club because we all think that women in clubs are always going to be of a certain caliber. But of course, here in Germany, there are going to be locations such as upscale bars or even hookah bars that a lot of people like going to. And if those women in there who are looking for American guys will see you, honey, they will approach you. Trust and believe. Before the passport bro movement was actually a thing and men started traveling to Brazil or even to Thailand or to the Dominican Republic, American soldiers were here in Germany already experiencing everything that these guys are talking about. And I'm telling you, these soldiers, they were living a life. They were loving every single day, and a lot of them stayed, and many of them never wanted to go back to America. Check this clip out.
Once you go black, you never go back.
Okay. Oh, them German Fräuleins. Yeah, buddy. They know. Man, it was good to be a passport bro before it became fashionable. I did have to put a little bit more work in because my skin is lighter. But yeah, once I got to talking, they heard that American accent. It was on and popping, baby.
He really said it was on popping, baby. And the reason why he probably had to put in a little bit more work than dark-skinned American guys over here in Germany was because of the simple fact that dark-skinned men back then really were a rarity, and as I always say, a specialty, and very, very exotic over here in Germany, which is really the reason that this light-skinned man had to probably just do more than just opening his mouth and talking. But it's not like that anymore over here. So when you actually come here from America and you go to places where German women are willing to meet American men, you don't have to do much. You don't have to put in no work. But I did enough talking. Let's listen to what else he has to say.
My darker skinned brothers, oh, they was putting up numbers on the board. One of my battles was from Mississippi, and he was putting up Wilt Chamberlain numbers over there.
On a run and hook, misses. Chamberlain gets his second rebound. Jerry West feeds to Chamberlain.
In Germany, I felt like Superman. Felt like Shamu at SeaWorld over there. Came back to the States. Got treated like Clark Kent. And just like a whale that gets thrown back into the wild, I had to fend for myself and go out and get my own food. Whereas back in Germany, I just had to show up. Hey, black soldiers, go to Germany. Listen to me now. Believe me later on.
There you have it, dear gentlemen. I mean, you just heard it yourself. It's always one thing if I sit in front of the camera and tell you all of these things about German women here meeting American guys or their desire for American men, but it's always going to have a different vibe to it when you actually hear it from somebody who was here or from someone who came here and still lives here, right? I mean, he just said it himself. As he came here to Germany, all he had to do is just show up. When he went back to America, it was like he was invincible. I mean, let's be honest. Some women over there really do have a nerve. Are treating men as if they are invincible when they are really not even worth being looked at, let alone being approached. Don't you want to be admired? Don't you want to be approached? Don't you want women to chase you? Don't you want to be treated as a king? I'm telling you, you need to pack your bags. You need to come to Germany and see what it's like. And if you need some travel information, let me know in the comments section, because I got you. I actually do consult American men when they want to come here to Germany. I help them plan their trips. I tell them where to go based on some personal information that they would have to give to me. But before you even consider coming here to Germany to meet women, you may ask yourself, what are the women like? I mean, we hear that they love American men. I get that. But what are these women like? What do they require? What do I actually have to provide in order to date them? And who could tell you best? Someone who has experienced it already. Let's dive into the video.
Sheesh, what's the difference between German and American women? Man, it's gonna be a tough one. Listen, if you're American, don't get offended. If you're German, don't get offended. This is just my personal opinion. All right, so I'm not gonna say all, but a lot of German women aren't as materialistic as American women. When an American girl, not all, but some, look at a guy, they're looking at his status quo. What kind of car he drive, how much money he got, what kind of clothes he wears. German women, yeah, they look at that, but that's not a big thing. As long as you treat them well, it doesn't really matter what you got on, if you drive or not, or what's in your bank account.
Exactly. I mean, as he said in the video, not all women are going to be like this. Of course, you have your gold diggers, but you will be able to sense that really quickly. Here's the thing. Why don't we care about what you have in your bank account, if you drive, what you're wearing? Because it really doesn't matter, because we are interested in who you are, not what you have. Of course, you cannot come here as a Pookie, don't have anything, looking dusty and crusty, you know what I mean? Don't know how to behave, don't know how to carry yourself. But as you already know, Pookie really doesn't go anywhere in the first place. As I said in the video earlier, some American men came here, went back to America, came here and never left Germany again. Not just because the love of German women for American guys was just so strong. No, they discovered that some things here in Germany are just simply better than in America. And again, who will be able to tell you the best? Somebody who has experienced it. Let's again roll the clip.
As much as I miss America and I want to move back to America, I gotta disagree with your statement. Because I'm actually American, born and raised my whole life. I've only been living in Germany 4 years out of my whole entire life. I'm 27 now, so what that tell you? See, everybody in Germany or Germans get this idea of the American dream until you actually live in America, until you realize how healthcare is shitty, until you realize that you can't even walk down your street without getting harassed or a gunshot going off, until you going out just and having a regular day and, you know, some crazy shit happen. And yes, crazy shit happen everywhere. It does. But the real reality is you wouldn't be able to survive in America because it's completely ass. Now, there's plenty of opportunity out in America and there's plenty of money out in America. But it's not everything it seems like until you live out there. Not only that, like, grocery shopping is expensive. Raising your kids is very hard, like very, very hard. You know what I'm saying? Out here in Germany, excuse my language, is out here in Germany, like, the government takes care of their people, you know what I'm saying? So, like, enjoy it while you have it, because if you try to move in America, I promise you, it's going to be a lot more complicated.
First off, if you are doing well financially, it is pretty obvious that you can make it anywhere. But as an average person, it's always better to live in Germany, which was one of the main reasons why I convinced my husband, let's live in Germany. Let's see how you like it here. We can always decide to go to America if we choose to. It's because of the reasons that this guy mentioned. Food prices are not as high. The government will take care of you. I mean, being homeless here in Germany is really a choice. If people rather want to do other things instead of getting their papers straight, and you really don't need much for the government to take care of you here in Germany, you just have to follow some of their rules. Obviously, you'll be just fine. I look into America, I see so many people who are homeless. I see so many people who are not being taken care of. And I'm not coming at nobody's country or anything like that. Please don't feel offended by the things that I say. These are just things that I see. Let me just say this as an example. How many veterans in America are homeless, traumatized, depressed, and just alone and left behind by family members or even the government? These are people who served the country at some point of their life. Of course, you have people like that over here too, but the government will take care of them. They will see these people as patients. and not as peasants of society, just walking past them, walking over them. You know what I mean? And there's like this huge difference. And also, living the American dream really kind of lost its meaning by now. I think this was like really a thing back in the 80s and early 90s. But now, inflation, the way that are going in America is really maybe not a place to be if somebody really wants to, raise a child or raise a family or build a life over there. Like I say, if you're financially well off, do whatever you got to do. But as an average person, better off. Nevertheless, America is a beautiful country, and so is Germany. And of course, both countries have their negative sides to it as well. But other than that, gentlemen, as I always say, life is too short. Don't let these women treat you a certain way. Make sure you know your worth, because obviously these women all know their worth. So therefore, think about coming here to Germany. If you need some travel information or some help trying to figure out where you should go, you can always send me an email to brooksbooking@yahoo.com. I will gladly help you. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. Give it a like, leave a comment, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.
So guys, that was a great video by Soraya. And as you can see, men are thriving overseas. Men are thriving in general as women are becoming homeless. I talked about this earlier. This is a very interesting point. We're seeing what's happening overseas with a lot of women right now. Millennial women are facing the first decline in well-being since the silent generation. I've mentioned this in a couple of different videos, but just jumping back into this. So basically, millennial women, they are seeing higher rates of mortality since 2017. After the events of 2020, it's just accelerated. They are declining year over year. They're living shorter lives, which means that many of them are now passing away. Yes, a lot of millennial women and Gen X women are not millennial women and Gen Z women are passing away, and it's not just a small number. It's happening rapidly. They're ending up homeless. They're ending up hopeless. They're experiencing high levels of loneliness, which is interesting because when they say a man is single, he's lonely and dusty. When a woman is single, she's happy and thrilled. And yet this is not what we're finding from the statistics. It's all being covered up. The feminists have been covering up the data to make it look like things are much better for women than they really are. Women are working in the workforce in higher numbers than ever, as men are dropping out of the workforce and walking away from Western society. As men are leaving Western society, we are seeing massive declines. Women are not making up for the shortcomings. Not only that, women are discovering that they cannot work for those long years going forward. At 30, 40 years out, 40 years old, they're beginning to cap out and tap out. You have these women who went to medical school. They're now attending physicians. They cannot work for the rest of their lives. They're looking for husbands. They're trying to, looking to having a child by themselves. They are living in complete and utter despair. You also have a group of women, tons of young women, who are basically saying that if they are not making a certain amount of money by a certain age, or if they are not in a certain place in their lives, they will delete themselves. And they are making deletion pacts with one another, with different women, with other women that they'll delete together. This is how bad it is. I talked about Japan already. Someone actually noted this, that I discussed it years ago, that when the Greek economy fell, you had teenagers who were selling whoopee or loving. They were selling love for €3 for lovemaking, and so that they could afford a cheese sandwich. Someone actually pointed out that Angry You said this years ago. OG listener, shout out to that OG listener. And now we're seeing it for ourselves. We're seeing the results of feminism. We're seeing the massive fallout in society as women have nowhere to turn to. Men are walking away, and they're trying to prop the whole thing up when in reality it's going to basically be like this. I've realized what's happening with women. Mentally, women have to be corrected because it's basically a father that teaches a child how to regulate their emotions, but unfortunately, women have not been given that lesson, so they are never taught how to regulate their emotions. They're never taught how to control themselves, and they're constantly looking and pushing to see how far they can push things, and their natural go-to is basically to say that they are victims, and the only way to stop it is to say, yeah, you're not a victim, you're going to be punished, and that's it. And what women are really desperately begging for in society, and they don't know subconsciously, is that they want men to they want to be held accountable. They want men to say no to them. They want to receive their punishment so that They know this is the limit. You've crossed the line, and there are consequences. And now they know where that line is. And the irony is that the line is they've gone way past the line, but they don't even realize it. And all the kicking and screaming won't do anything for them, because many women can never go backwards after living these lives of luxury and expense and just outright greed and gluttony. Now they're going to have to be living in, live with much less, and that's not going to work for them. So, like I said, a lot of women would rather live in a storm drain and believe that Mr. Millionaire or billionaire is going to come and rescue them, versus settling down with a normal dude who has their best interests at heart. But those normal dudes don't want them anymore. Those normal dudes are going overseas. They're starting new lives with Filipino wives and women in Germany and Africa. And Soraya is advertising hard, and she's getting her money hard. Guys, I want to know what you think about this. Men are thriving as women become homeless. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys, and we'll talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.